Welcome to the Hangar Z podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicasts and in partnership with Vertical Valor magazine. In this two-part series, host Jack Schonely and co-host Harald Brink go international and speak to Joseba Mendizabal, a lieutenant pilot from the Basque Police in Spain. Joseba is an inspiring and funny fixture in our industry. His journey spans from aspiring pilot to military service and now a dedicated helicopter pilot for the Basque Country's police force. Join us as Joseba shares his experiences, including a memorable flight over New York City that sparked his decision to pursue his pilot assignment. During this conversation, we explore the transformation of Bilbao and the intricacies of modern policing. From personal anecdotes about military training to discussions on resilience and teamwork, this conversation highlights the critical role of helicopter pilots in law enforcement and the significance of industry training and networking events like PavCon. Our goal with the international conversation is to connect and engage with our international brothers and sisters in public safety aviation. Sharing insights and experiences, along with best practices across international borders, strengthens our collective efforts. Together, we can learn from one another, celebrate our shared passion for aviation, and enhance our commitment to protecting and serving the public. Join us in this vital conversation as we bridge gaps and foster collaboration in the world of public safety aviation. Thank you to our sponsors, Metro Aviation, Precision Aviation Group, and CNC Technologies.
Welcome to the Hangar Z podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicasts. The Hangar Z podcast is the first and only podcast dedicated to promoting and exploring the personnel and equipment behind the missions in public safety aviation. Join your host, John Gray, Jeff Ratkovich, and Jack Schonely.
Still southbound, skidding to a stop. Stand by here. Looks like you're getting ready to bail. Heads up, guys, bailing. Okay, the guy, he's running through the house, jumping the fence, through the shotgun, through something out. Grabbing the shotgun. Don't go over that fence. Don't go over that fence. Grab the shotgun again. He is armed. Stay there. Hold your position.
4 on the stop. You're in custody.
They're advising code 4 on the stop.
And just to go back, because you touched on it, you ended up doing your training in Spain.
In Spain.
But on your own.
Oh my!
So that you could get that to that commercial level and apply. So you did that on your own. You dedicated your own time and money and effort.
Yes, I had to go to Madrid at the first moment, and because there was no helicopter training in my area, so I had to go to Madrid. But I had former army friends there, so I had very good chance to live with them. I had a lot of help, but for any reason, things are never easy in that part of my life. But as I told you, coming from the army, I was decided not to surrender, but I went to the helicopter training. The training programs inside the Spanish Aviation Agency had changed. I had to go through fixed wing exams. I had to take all the fixed wing exams because they sent me to that. Then I went to the flight test, but I couldn't do the flight test because my exams were not the rotary wing exams. It was a big mixture, and I had to went through all the exams, fixed wing, rotary, flight. This I had to change the school. So everything very complicated. And at the end, I finished in Barcelona, and I get my commercial rating. And it was very annoying trip, but nice because you make lot of friends from here, from Madrid, from Barcelona, from this.
How long did it take you from the first flight till your commercial check ride?
2 years.
2 years. I was going to say, because you're still working during this time, right?
I mean, some of duty days, go to Madrid, going back. It was.
How far is it from your home to Madrid? How far were you traveling?
From my home to Madrid is 400 kilometers, which is not a lot in the US. But I mean, when I went there, I had to stay for a week or 5 days minimum because 1 week Madrid, 1 week Bilbao, 2 weeks Barcelona, 2 weeks Bilbao.
Gotcha.
Something like that.
Okay. That's very dedicated. And you're paying the bill. So very dedicated.
Me, my dad, and my granddad.
Yeah, you got it done though. You had that goal. You knew it was for you. A flight in New York City settled it where you go, oh yes, I have to do this.
Yes.
And sure enough, you go back and you spend the time, the money, the effort, and here you are today on the Hangar Z podcast. I mean, I know that was a goal as well along the way.
from zero to a flying legend, Jack.
That's there. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's a great story, Joseba. A great story of dedication and having your goal. Go ahead, Harold.
One question: the pilot in New York, was it Glenn?
No. I visited the New York because there was an NYPD police lieutenant that was a member of the IPA, the International Police Association. I met him, and he took us. Chris Haggerty, very nice guy. Chris Haggerty, former SWAT team emergency response in New York, retired. And he took us to all the units. We went shooting to the range. We visited the helicopter unit, but it was not Glenn. It was a Spanish-speaking police officer there, and very nice. We saw the 412s, the jet rangers. I have the drug was starting. Everything was burning inside me. So, but very, very, very nice trip. Very nice trip.
And of course, the Glenn we're talking about is Glenn Daly, who's a friend of all three of us. Glenn Daly was a lieutenant with NYPD Aviation and just a great guy. The two of you have got to know him over the years through PavCon, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But what a guy.
His behavior, his friendship, he's a brother. He's part of the family. I mean, it's always willing to help.
I know the feeling. It's what you did, Jack, when we visited you guys in Los Angeles. And we got your special tour. And that's something you will always remember. And what gave me the passion to do what I do now. So thanks to you, Jack.
Good. Ah, geez, we were happy to do all that. As NYPD does the same thing. But Glenn's a wonderful guy. We still talk regularly. I know you guys do too. He's just a great guy. Lots of experience. I'm going to get him on this show if it kills me, because he's amazing.
Maybe we can do it European Roaders because he's coming over for European Roaders. I got a text from him. No, so maybe I can hook him up with John and see if we can talk about it. There you go.
Tell us about the aviation unit. Give us kind of an overview, Joseba, even a little bit of a history lesson maybe of when the unit started, before you were there, and how it's evolved to when you arrived, and then we'll move forward from there. How's that?
It's very, very few people know, even inside the police force, that the Basque helicopter unit, the Basque Police helicopter unit, started flying in 1986. The police was formed in 1982. In 1986, they bought two second-hand Dauphine C3. It was the old Dauphines with the skids, and they started flying. And we were the first unit in Spain, beside the military, because in the former years, the search and rescue missions were only for the military, both inland and in the sea. And we were the first unit that started flying sea rescue, day and night, firefighting, police missions, everything. We were the first unit, the first non-military unit in Spain flying everything.
Wow.
Before the Coast Guard, before the Sea Maritime Rescue helicopters. So we started with the whole pack. We started in 1986 with the old Dauphine, the C3, the old model with the skids. In 1990, we started, as I told you, with civilian pilots, civilian engineers, and police TFOs. There were not TFOs at the moment. They were working for rescue missions, flying rescue missions, right. Police officers, flying rescue missions. And in 1990, we had the first two police officers arriving. They went through the pilot training. And with that, there was a very difficult moment because in the Basque Country, everything, everyone, and any place was threatened by the terrorist ETA, the Basque ETA.
ETA, yeah.
They were killing a lot of people. Everything was in danger. So they had very, 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 very difficult years. So they were trying to build a big motorway, a big connection road between provinces. and that construction was also threatened. It was a risk, big danger. So they decided to buy 2 A-stars with some ballistic covers, some ballistic shields, and the first webcam camera, especially for police missions. So we have the first police pilots, the first police focus helicopters, 2 A-stars, and they started flying more police missions. They keep all the rescue issue, they keep the firefighting, they keep everything, but they fly more with that. And then after that, 1997, they buy the first 2 EC-135, the T1s. There was a study done before, survey, research inside the unit, and looking at our missions, one of the pilots, there were the 2 police pilots. One was the commander, and the other one was not the commander. Was a normal, I don't know how to say, no rank, normal police officer, but very good pilot. And he made the research, and he said that the Basque Police needed 1 medium helicopters and 2 light helicopters to take care of all the missions. And in 1995-96, he said he made all the studies, the technical research, the comparisons, and he said that he thought that the best helicopters for us were a Bell 412, for the tactical transport, firefighting, big loads,
Right.
sea rescue, a kind of a NYPD.
Yeah.
And also 2 109 K2 Augusta for smaller missions, rescue missions. The K2 were at the moment were chosen by Riga, the company that is flying. I think it's in Switzerland or somewhere in Europe in the mountains. And instead of buying that, at the last moment, due to political reasons, they bought 2 EC-135 T1s. And we started retiring the old helicopters. We had 2 Dauphins. 1 Dauphin is retired. 1 A-Star is retired. Another Dauphin is retired. Another A-Star is retired. And there was a program because we wanted to keep the sea rescue capacity. So they wanted to buy a new Dauphin N3, the latest version, like the US Coast Guard, but the latest version, the N3. And everything was done. And we were able to discuss with Eurocopter that we had many problems with the T1s. So they say, okay, the T1s were not a good idea. We have to apologize because they were only prototypes. So if you buy a new Dauphin N3, we will change your EC-135s and we will give you EC-135 T2. So say, very good. That's a good deal. The problem was that at the moment, never happened before. The government changed and the political party that had been ruling the government for 20 years changed. They left the government and the program was canceled. So we had all the old helicopters retired, no new helicopters, and we started flying only with the EC-135 T1s. It's been terrible years because you can imagine, Jack, only 2 helicopters, we had 5, no sea capabilities, very limited mountain rescue power, no tactical transport. And besides that, we have flown many missions. I think people will never know how difficult it has been to achieve and to fly all the missions with all helicopters. And at the end of last year, they realized that our T1s were coming to an end. No spare parts, no nothing, many problems. They were all helicopters, very limited. And they decided to take the easy way, the easy path. And they bought 2 H-135 T3, which are very modern, state-of-the-art avionics, but small. They are small for us. The H-135 T3 is better than the T1, much better. Is the helicopter we need? No, it's not.
So that's where you are today?
we have the new H135 with a new FLIR gimbal after the Dutch donation, which was another nightmare, especially for the Dutch. I want to tell your audience that the Dutch police gave us 3 gimbals with 2 working stations for free. It was another nightmare. Everything was done in the. I mean, I still don't know why Harald still is my friend. I don't know it. And we pay him with beers, with ham, whatever. So it's been terrible, because I don't know if you agree with me, but there were many changes in the police commanders, police commissioners, high ranks, politicians. The aviation issue is not for everyone.
Right.
Guns, motorbikes, cars are affordable, are in the basic police staff. Everyone has cars, some motorbikes, some detective, undercover team, the basics. But helicopters are not for everyone, because you are not depending only on your police department. You depend on your federal aviation regulations, training issues, simulators, and it's expensive.
That's right.
And it's complicated. And then some police commanders and some politicians think that having helicopters is like having cars. It's not that way. If the weather is not good, you cannot go. If they request you to fly down at 50 feet over a big crowd, it's not a good idea. You cannot fly following police orders if they are against aviation orders, ATC orders. So aviation is not for everyone, and then it's expensive. So I've seen that in many other police forces.
Yes.
The helicopter unit is a unit much different from the rest.
Thank you to our sponsor, Metro Aviation. Metro Aviation, the world's largest family-owned aeromedical operator, offers comprehensive aircraft services with 140 plus aircraft in over 25 states. The Completion Center installs medical and law enforcement kits and avionics, serving diverse aviation needs including offshore, utility, VIP, and corporate sectors.
Who are the people working in the helicopter air support unit? Very lazy guys, always putting problems, always giving excuses, fuel excuse, weather excuse, fog excuse, endurance excuse, always with the Ray-Ban sunglasses, coffee, women, doing strange things, talking 50% English words. So they hate us. All the monkeys with the medals hate us. I can say that because no one in my police department from captain above speaks a different language. Some of them, they are not able even to speak Spanish. So you are always supposed to be flying, and they say, "Oh, today they are flying today. What are they doing? They are flying. Yeah, they're flying along the coast to see the people on the beach." So they don't realize the complexity and the technical issues of aviation, and they think you are a flying patrol car, and you're not.
If it makes you feel better, Joseba, you know now, and I know you know this, but that problem is everywhere. We've all experienced it. It's around the world. It's international, where the command staff of the vast majority of command staff on every department in the world does not understand aviation. That's just a fact. And the good leaders admit it and depend on the experts, their subject matter experts, that are in the unit, that are the pilots and flying. But unfortunately, there are leaders that you described perfectly and in a very humorous way. There are leaders that's what they think. That it's just a flying club, and they don't understand the risk, the rules, the limitations, weather factors, all the things that you just eloquently talked about in a fun way. They're all true. I mean, we're laughing about it because you have a unique way of communicating it in a great way. But at the same time, and Harold and I both know, and everybody listening knows, that those are all real. That those are all images that the ignorance that's about aviation, that things that they believe. Is that, am I on track there, Joseba?
Some of the discussions, some of the things they usually tell us is that people coming from police precincts, from police stations, you know that with the money of one helicopter, I could buy 25 patrol cars, and I could buy this, and I could buy, and I tell them, okay, we will do one thing: close the country club, close your support unit, and start buying police cars. But if you need a helicopter, call the national police and say, hello, can you help me? Because we are always showing off. The Basque force is a very modern, a very complete police force. We are up to date. We are able to do whatever job we have the demand to do. And now, close the air support unit. You have a lot of money for all the presents, for all your cars, for all your hats, for whatever. But they don't want to do that. And on the other hand, every time they work on a police advertising, recruiting campaign, calendars, videos, what is image number one? The helicopter.
Always.
Always. Police commissioner needs a picture for the newspaper. Police commissioners coming to the hangar and the helicopter behind.
Yeah.
And it's always the same. But it's always the same, always. And they think that if you are going 4 days to the simulator in Madrid, they say that you are going to do the same things that they would do. Drinking, girls, do all the things. And it's like you are asking for holiday, you want paid vacation from the department. Simulator, paid vacation. It's Hawaii.
Yeah.
So they don't realize the issue, and they don't realize that fortunately we only had one accident many years ago. No more accidents. No big accident rate. So they try to think that the normal thing is not having an accident. So it's safe, it's nice, it's easy. You are always flying. You should pay to work because you are enjoying that much. And they don't realize the complexity when you have complicated missions, changing weather, it's getting night, dark in the mountains, searching for people, making decisions, strong wind.
Saving lives. Right?
Saving
lives. How do they forget about that? It's only one rescue where you go up into the mountains at night and save a severely injured hiker, for instance, that won't last till morning. And because of your skills, your equipment, your training experience, including simulator training, it benefits that particular person up there. Doesn't care about any of these attitudes or how that unit's perceived. They just want to get plucked off that mountain and get to a hospital and survive, right? But yet there are people in high places that just don't even think about that one person. And it's not just one. Think of the number of people that you've plucked off of mountains over your years. It's just lack of true understanding, and it's something that units around the world deal with, and all of us just need to do everything we can to tolerate the ignorance and educate them. But it's hard, isn't it? It's really hard to educate people in high places. Harold, your unit, obviously, you've gone. I know that every unit goes through growing pains, but your unit is very much supported and appreciated. Maybe not to the level everybody wants, but for the most part, it appears that you guys have great support. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, the leaders, they come and they go, and there is like a lot of episodes back from this podcast. There's a great podcast about leadership. The thing is, it looks simple, but they forget it looks simple because we train a lot, and that's why they think it is simple. It isn't simple, not at all, but it looks simple, and that's why they have the attitude. Oh, come on, you can do with less. No, you can't. I think it's safe because of how we all units train and how we live for it. And I think if you have like a unit commander coming from the ranks, like being TFO pilot, they know how it is. But if you have like a manager coming in and doing it for 2 or 3 years, I think that's where it goes wrong, in my opinion. I'm fortunate that we are federal, so we have not like in the US and like Joseba, we have also, everybody has money issues, but it's not so obvious to our unit. And we can spend a lot of time in training. We even train our TFOs in virtual reality simulators from Priority 1. We go there once a year, and they get 4 hours of training and checking in the simulator. And they all get, and it's only for the TFOs. The pilots go twice a year to a simulator, do LPCs and OPCs there. We have a dedicated training flight, so it's not training on the job, but it's a dedicated training day and training flight. So, yeah, we're lucky to do that. But, yeah, again, it costs a lot of money.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it's expensive no matter where you're at. But how do you put a price on people's lives? You know, and both the officers you support and the citizens you support, you can't.
It's the same as, for example, if you talk about the medical system, and you have a big modern device that you can work on scanners, nuclear scanners, brain scanners with the special machines, and with the price of that machine, you could buy many ambulances or many, but that's not something even to consider about. You need to be with the most modern, state-of-the-art devices,
right?
Because you are giving a service to the people. And if you want to play football on the Champions League, you need all that equipment. Otherwise, you are playing in the countryside or you are playing in the third world. But if you show off, saying that you are a modern society with modern government, modern country, we will see in the services you are offering your citizens.
Yeah.
And
said.
And another thing is that in the police department, they don't realize our longest training course inside the police force, the longest special course is the SWAT. The SWAT team, it's around 7 months. From zero to being a SWAT operator, sniper, whatever, it takes about 7 months, 8 months. I would say a year. How many years do you need from zero to get a proficient, safe, and good pilot in command in a multi-pilot crew, flying rescue and police missions day and night, instrument? How many years?
It never stops.
Yeah.
For us, when you arrive to the unit with your commercial license, till you get to the right seat for rescue missions, if everything goes okay, and if you are selected, and if everything you do, everything okay, and everything goes okay, it's around 7 years.
Yeah.
Flying, training, rescue, to become a rescue captain, a rescue pilot in command, it's 2 years. 1 year's training and another year under supervision. And it's a long path.
Yeah. What percentage of your work in your unit, Joseba, would you say is search and rescue?
90% at the moment.
90?
Is 90%. Yeah,
I knew it was high, 90 though. Yeah.
yeah, it's high because we've been the last 15 years we had no aircraft and no crews to focus on police missions, because the Basque Police has the mission to rescue people in the mountains, and that's mission number one.
Right.
So being very low on aircraft and being very low on pilots and TFOs, we have not been able to work in the police area. Only special occasions, like for example, the visit of the king, or a very big demonstration, or some kind of international event.
Right.
Very, very few occasions. We have a VIP visit, then we put the helicopter. But most of our job is rescue, and we should focus on the police helicopter. That's why PavCon, and I've gone so many times to visit Harald, how they work, how they support, because for us, it's a job that we should work on that.
Yeah.
But there are no resources, no human and technical resources.
Is it starting to change? Do you see light at the end of the tunnel where you go, okay, that's what we want. We want to be more like what the Netherlands does. Is a great example where they balance it. They do plenty of search and rescue, but they also do a lot of police work. Is it starting to change for your unit? Do you see that?
I still sometimes ask myself if the light I see at the end of the tunnel is the daylight or is a train coming against I see a light. I see a light.
That's a maybe then.
It's a train coming with the lights on, or is the day after the tunnel?
You have a new helicopter. You're getting a new one. Is it? Do you think it's possible, like, to change the 90-10% to, for example, 70-30? So you're doing 30% of police, because you sent me the pictures of the new mission equipment you guys have. It's state of the art.
Yes.
The newest FLIR. It's a nice workstation. It's good recorders.
Before joining you, we were flying, and it's flight number 2 or 3 with the new FLIR, and we were downlinking and recording and flying with the FLIR turret, and the TFOs we were all flying an H-135 T3 Helionics with a new FLIR, and it was like jumping like 2 or 3 generations ahead. It's not the normal jump. It's just it's been like throwing iPads in the Amazons to the Indians in the Amazons. So the possibilities are huge. I mean, because we come from so old equipment, so old, nothing was working, and suddenly you are working with a new Star Sapphire and say, oh my God, what's that? The capabilities, the possibilities are huge.
Yeah.
What's the problem? The problem is that we are going to get second H-135, so we are going to have 2 H-135 T3, and they want to keep one of the old T1s as a support.
As a backup.
For me, it's not good, because we are going to fly extremely different systems, extremely different, changing from Helionics to the Red Baron aircraft, and going back, all the capabilities, all the power is complicated. And apart from that, is that they think it's also politicians and commander way of thinking. They think that with 2 helicopters, they are always ready. You can always conduct them. You can always consider them usable. Minimum is 3, because apart from that, we need to keep, because we are the only ones. Mountain rescue, always 1 helicopter and 1 crew is mountain rescue, always. We also want to keep a kind of seaside, on the shore, sea rescue with floats. That's second helicopter. We want a helicopter with a gimbal, with the FLIR. And we also want to use one of them for training, one of them for maintenance. So possibilities are great, but with only 2 new choppers and an old one and few pilots, we are very few people. We are on the limit. We could do it, but we are on a limit. So I think that the good thing is that the new people in the government are realizing that only happens when crime rate is increasing, and they start to worry and say, hey,
Yeah.
what's happening?
Thank you to our sponsor, CNC Technologies. CNC Technologies, serving law enforcement, government, and military markets with tailored mission solutions, system training, and live 24/7 support with CNC.live platform. Explore more at cnctechnologies.com.
I think that's a good thing for you guys to promote the police side at least and see if you can change from 90 to 10%, maybe to 80-20 or 70-30. The only thing is you have to create and build a training program for the entire crew. So for the pilot to be able to learn to fly the flare and the TFO to operate the systems and the CRM wise to train together to know what you mean and how to catch bad guys or to protect the officers. So are you going to create, or is there a possibility to create like a TFO training program for the TFOs you have right now in the unit?
I'm working on that. And you know, Harald, that when we were invited with people from many other support units from Europe. We stayed together in Amsterdam and your facilities. We had that training with what was the name of I think that we went twice.
It was Phil.
Phil.
Kelly. Phil.
Yes.
And we had the one with Jack and Kevin.
Yes.
And also
yes.
Clay Lacey was at our unit also for training.
Those were fantastic. It's been fantastic training. Now you are the guys to take a look at, because many other countries in Europe are flying the helicopters and the police missions, always just some flights around just to take a look, or even worse, only when they get a call and they are not in the air and you get the call, it's late. If you're not in the air, it's late.
Yes.
It's late. And there's no real cooperation with the ground units. Cooperation with the ground units is not selecting the same frequency. It's knowing how to work together. It's a kind of CRM, air-to-ground CRM. It's much more complicated. And in Europe, it's even more complicated because in the States, there are many neighborhoods with low houses, with not big buildings, but big cities in Europe are very complicated to police, for air policing. So we need a big change of mindset. Even the Germans, even many countries that have a lot of helicopters, I think they have not the mindset of the real air support to the ground units. For example, Jack told us and taught us about that. The cooperation with the K9 is fantastic, but people even don't think about it. And still people, and we have a problem in Europe, that there are many people, even citizens, complaining about the noise, complaining about this, complaining about social rights, complaining about we are start to chasing people belonging to that ethnic or to that religion. So it's complicated. We have the chance, we have the possibility, but we have the daily reality. Our daily reality is that each time that the country club opens the door, maximum 4 pilots. We work multi-pilot. So 2 pilots are down for mountain rescue. And one of the other 2, it has to be on vacation, medical, training, this. So it's very difficult for us to have on a daily basis 2 crews. And we have to keep the mountain rescue. So we need more helicopters and more people. but the tools are there and the possibilities are there.
You have great new tools now. So
Yes, fantastic.
maybe you have to invite like units with crime rising, ground units, to come over and to show them what they got, so they can also from their side start asking about air support. Hey, commander, we have a helicopter. Why don't we call the helicopter? Maybe start there. So the other way around, not you going out there, but invite them to your unit and see what happens then, and see if they request you instead of you offering your services to them. No, but create a need that they want you. So I don't know, it's just guessing.
The issue, Harald, is that let's suppose that we tell the ground units, the police stations, that we are able to support them. And we start flying to support them, Bilbao. And we start downlinking and filming some robberies, some crimes with a helicopter over the city. And then, as we have very few helicopters and very few pilots, we offer the service on Monday, but it's not available on Tuesday and Wednesday, and maybe Thursday is not.
No, but you have to start. You have to start somewhere. If you want to do it, you have to start somewhere. And
Yes.
I think as soon as you catch the first two bad guys doing a robbery and you catch them live, you're sold. They know what you can. But the first one, that's the one I think it's going to make the change also to some commanders in the ground units to see your capabilities. Now they don't know it because maybe they came into the force long before the new helicopters were bought and they never had air support.
But I will tell you one thing that is happening in many places in Europe. Still, politicians and some high rank officers think that there's no need for that. This is not the United States. We are not having shootings every day. This is Europe, the wonderful Europe. Everything is okay. We have some issues, we have some things, but it's not that big. So there's no need to be catching guys from the sky. That's a little bit like pushing the police. There are so many idiots with ties and medals everywhere, still trying to realize that the problems are not here, and the problems are everywhere. Everything is globalized. We have the same problems all over the world. When I heard about shootings in Sweden, they have shootings like in the hit movie. Say, oh my God.
Yeah.
When you see that and you try to lie to yourselves, and when you see the realities on the type of crime, people committing those crimes, their links, they want to put something over that and not show, no accept the reality, because there are many meanings behind that, and it's politically very complicated.
Yeah.
The other day, I remember watching on the TV President Macron from France, and he was saying, "Oh, it might happen that we could have to send French soldiers to Ukraine." And I thought, why don't you try to recover Marseille? Before going to Ukraine, why don't you try to recover your own country land? I mean, don't need to go so far to fight the war. So it's complicated. And here, the Basque Police reality is so, it's very complicated. But as you say, we are trying to educate people from the very beginning. Hey, take a look at the new camera. Take a look at the downlink. Take a look at the recordings.
Yeah.
Take a look about the possibilities. But we have to go slowly. And
it's crawl, walk, run, and you got to be patient. But I think Harold's point is excellent. You start with the customer by bringing them up. You sell them. And next thing you know, they're going to their bosses saying, hey, man, we need those guys in the air over our SWAT operations, over our surveillance operations, over our canine operations. And next thing you know, they start selling the idea, pushing the idea, independent of Joseba going to the command saying, hey, we need another helicopter. That they're telling their bosses, we need those guys. So I love Harold's suggestion on that, bringing the customer up and, training, educating them first. And it's going to take patience. It's not going to happen overnight. But it certainly is a step in the right direction. I like that conversation. We're kind of running out of time here, but I do want to really get to something that's important to both of you and to a lot of people, and that's PavCon. Let's talk about PavCon for a second. From your perspective, Joseba, give us the overview of what PavCon is and how important it's been to you personally and to your unit and your role there at PavCon at the annual convention. Go ahead.
PavCon for me, I was 2006, 2007 was 3 years for me, 4 years in the air support unit. And I was looking on the internet about helicopter aviation, police aviation, something somewhere. Just looking, searching, surfing on the internet. And I saw the police aviation conference in London. I said, oh my God, there's a police aviation conference in London. Who are these guys? What's happening? So I took a look, and this is a police conference in the Olympia Center, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's fantastic. Those guys, people from the States, people from here, people from French gendarmerie, did that. So that'd be fantastic. And I started reading about that, and it says, if you want to come and be part of the audience, there was a publishing group, Schaefer, behind that. So if you wanted to go and be part of the audience and listen to the conference and all that, you had to pay like £200 or £300, something like that. And it said, if you come as a speaker, this is for free. And I put the speaker. I said, the speaker. I put a cross to say yes. So I sent the document, Joseba Mendizabal, Basque Country. You want to attend as a speaker because it's free. It's like playing lottery, a speaker. And I had a letter back and say, an email back and say, we are interested in your offer. I say, oh my God, those guys, number one, they know nothing about the Spanish aviation police reality. Number two, they are running out of speakers. And they need a monkey for the last time. Or maybe the rest of the speakers are pushing and they want someone for Spain so that they are going to appear to show themselves are better speakers. So sometimes you need sometimes you need an asshole in the speakers list so that the rest they appear better than they are. So I said, my God, the speaker. And I said, okay, London. So at the moment, the trip to London, my former boss paid the trip. It was cheap. From Bilbao to London is very close. And I had a colleague, a pilot, and his brother was living in London at the moment. So I had a place to sleep. I had the trip. And I had to buy a jacket because I never used jackets. And I was supposed to wear a jacket. And I had to buy a jacket. I still have the PavCon jacket. The night before flying to London, I was looking for a jacket. One was like that. The other was like that. Both were like this. My God, a jacket.
You are in Dutch because it's the cheapest of the cheapest, what you're telling now. So it's a little bit like...
No, there was not about, a jacket. Oh my God. Because there was a possibility of wearing a uniform, but I was not representing my force. And we have our gala uniform. If you take a look at our gala uniform and you go to an event, they're going to put you parking cars or walking at the cocktail. Serving the cocktail or parking cars. Take a look. Basque Country gala uniform. They say, yeah, please, sir, park my car, or please help with the champagne. So I came there in plain clothes with a jacket, with my PavCon jacket. And I said, no tie, please. No tie, because no ties. So that's the way it started. I went there, and there was the speakers' dinners before the event, and I said, okay, that's my chance. If I am able to make myself understood, and if I'm able to translate some jokes and still be funny with some beers, it's done. So beers, I met Brink, I met the former chairman, Mr. Davis, fantastic person, all of them. And the thing is that we started talking the same language, we started getting along, everything was very good, and we said, oh my God, I'm going to try. So the next day, I met a French guy, colonel from the gendarmerie, very French, very smart, military academy, very, very military style. And we talk, French, Spanish. The French always look for Spanish friendship when they are lost and they have nobody to talk. Otherwise, they are big enemies. But if they are lost or they are in London, they try to. And it's funny because the following day we went to the conference. I was plain clothes and he was wearing his uniform, French Gendarmerie, 2,000 medals, 4 wings, 7 badges. And he says, hey, Joseba, why you are not wearing your uniforms? And I tell, look, Patrice, I have more medals than you, and I didn't want to make you feel embarrassed. So it took a minute for him to understand that it was a joke.
That is great.
Thank you to our sponsor, Precision Aviation Group. Mission-critical operators and fleet managers rely on Precision Aviation Group as a worldwide leading rotor and fixed-wing MRO provider. PAG provides tip-to-tail solutions in 4 MRO segments: avionics, components, engines, and manufacturing DER services. A single point of contact gives you access to over 150 million in inventory globally, 24/7. Just call 800-537-2778. Precision Aviation Group. Others sell parts. We sell support.
From that moment, it started going. 1 year, 2nd year. At the 3rd year, I told Brink, I've been 1 year, presentation, Basque Police helicopter unit. 2nd years, Basque Police, what we do. 3rd year, I have no more aviation expertise. Thank you very much. I cannot lie to you. You are my colleagues. You can put my CV. You can put my CV inside a Chinese fortune cookie. You open the Chinese fortune cookie, and that's my CV. So Brink said, no, don't worry about that. It was a conference about CRM. I said, we don't have CRM instruction. So he said, now you will talk about how it's flying without CRM instructions. So you can change the way you look to the subject. So many places, many countries, many conferences, fantastic friends, Glenn, Harald, all the PavCon. It's a family. And
Yeah.
There's also one, besides that, there's one thing that it's a pity, but it's the European reality. I belonged to ALEA from many years ago. Now I have signed off but in the United States, the way you are part of an association, you pay the fee, you pay everything, you have your seminars, you have everything, you get together. That's not possible in Europe. If the unit you belong for doesn't pay, people is not going to pay to become, because we don't get together. Police aviation family doesn't get together in Spain. So we are not United States of Europe. So
Right.
nobody's going to put money to get together because everyone is busy. Our realities are different. Everyone thinks that there's nothing to learn from the others. No one is going to take money from his family and time from his family to attend the event. It's more complicated. So I have always suggested to have an association stronger than PavCon and with an official relationship between big forces, a kind of an official agreement of cooperations, like the SWAT forces have something, Harald, that they come a European Atlas. How they call Atlas?
Atlas, yeah, correct.
We need something with the support of our police departments, the official support, because otherwise it's always going to be the same guys talking to the same guys in very similar places. we all know our different presentations, but we are not being able to keep the big attention. We've been in Germany. We've been in Germany, in PavCon Germany. And the thing is that being with the federal police and the Bayer police, and there were no people from Berlin, Northern, from other landers. So it's a kind of, we will reach it our highest level at the very beginning, and we have a stop on that. It's nice. You meet your friends, you drink some beers, but we need to rethink or reinvent.
The strange thing is, I'm in like iMessage groups or WhatsApp group with TFOs all in Europe, or even with pilots, and there is a need. They all understand there is a need, but I don't know what it is. But it's not possible to once a year come together for 2 days because they get no permission. What do we need it for? We have no time. What do I gain? What do I gain from it?
What are the Atlas thing that you were talking about? What do they do that you could maybe look at and draw from the model of that group? What do they do something unique that draws the EU operators to go to those events and get the support from their departments?
They get the support because it's the Special Forces community. So that's a tight community, and they have like Atlas Sea, Atlas Land. So, and they have annual exercises. And for example, Atlas Sea is where we participate with our helicopters to deploy troops on ships, on oil rigs, or whatever. And once a year, there's a big exercise, and all the countries which have a coastline with the North Sea, they go there. They send teams, and I don't know what it is, but they come together. They do big exercise. They train together. And for aviation units, they also go because it's for us nice to see if it's possible to create a common SOP for when the Big Bang happens. We can fly the formation with the guys from the UK, or with the guys from Belgium, or with the guys from Germany. So speak the same language, know the formations, know the calls. So there is a need because when we are as air units on those Atlas exercises, we all say, we need to come together more frequently. And then there's PavCon and nobody shows up. And I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's what Joseba. How do we attract? So if there is anybody listening and they can help us out in Europe to get more like what you have on an APSCON or like ECHO or HAI, let us know because we're searching.
Hopefully that'll improve. It needs to, because every unit's different, just like in the States. All the units are different. They all have the same issues. Joseba, while you were talking about the issues in your unit, I'm thinking about units across the United States have the exact same issues. And one that came to mind when you were talking about your technology and your new aircraft and how the old aircraft is obsolete, we were just in Nashville in May. They just went through that transition that you're going through right now. That unit just went through it. And if you listen to those episodes, they were fantastic. And they ended up being about leadership. It takes leadership and to get over that hump. And Nashville has done it to the point where their troops on the ground there in Nashville, they know when they still had some of the old aircraft, they would know if it was the new aircraft with the technology or the old aircraft. The guys on the ground, the guys and gals on the ground, they knew it without even being told. And they said, well, if you're going to bring the old aircraft, don't even come, because we need you with that new aircraft, that new gimbal, that with the new tactics, which is fascinating to me. I mean, that was a really interesting conversation. And it sounds like to me that your unit's right there going through that same process right now. And it's going to take, from my perspective, my humble opinion, it's going to take good leadership. And leadership doesn't mean rank. It means having a good leader within the unit to push the right things, and then get the training, get the equipment. You got the equipment, get the training, and boom, you're in business. And then going to what Harald said, showing everything you got, every chance you get, every rescue, every robbery suspect in custody, and you show the bosses, the people that are paying the bills, this is what you're getting. This is what you're getting for all these dollars, that you're spending. But there's hope, Joseba, is what I'm telling you. There's hope. You need to keep a smile and keep laughing because it's coming. Well, we've got to wrap things up here. We've taken enough of your time. This has been a really fun, good conversation on some good topics with some good humor. And so before I give it to you, just say, Harald, any closing thoughts about our conversation today?
Who doesn't love that man? He's a great guy. And he's always...
I know.
So
he's my brother.
If anybody wants a good presentation about CRM and human factors, you should invite him. You know it, Jack. It's 2 hours of pure fun, really, and it has a great message. So keep on the good road, Joseba.
No. You cannot believe friends, because friends are always. It's like you have a friend introducing your book or your movie. They're always to give good words. But the thing is that I was used to speak in PavCon like in the middle of the conference. I didn't mind the place in the middle. Yeah. And one day, Brink and Garrett told me, "Hey, Joseba, do you mind if we change your presentation? Because the people paying, some companies pay for the conference. So the guy that was last in the conference had to go before. Some people had to leave early. So he requested a position in the middle of the conference and not at the end. So they told me, do you mind changing and you go at the end of the conference and say, no, because I'm sure that guy has a very more important message than mine to tell the audience, and he's paid for the conference. I don't mind." So he gave his presentation in the middle of the conference, and I closed the conference. Yes. And it was a funny presentation. So from now on, it's like a tradition that the funny presentation for yourself is like the closing presentation. But it's always about, my aviation expertise is very low. I'm not a very good pilot. So, but there's one important thing that happens to all the units. All the units. We're talking about the aviation units, but I don't mind. We can talk about K9 units, SWAT units. All units have human problems. One guy that he's a very good guy, but always comes late. Another guy that he's a very good pilot, but sometimes he drinks too much. Another guy that he's not a very good colleague and he's more working on individual profile. And trying to make a team, trying to get along with the guys, trying to make a family. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how many helicopters, the human factor, the family flying, because it's a life issue. I'm flying with you, you're flying with me, people is flying with us. And it's not only being skilled on cyclic and collective, it's also being able to understand the mental complexity of the situation. So I think that I want to thank you, Jack. I want to thank Engelseed. I want to thank Harald is the guy in Europe. US audience, Harald Brink is number one in Europe.
He is.
He's number one. And the Dutch force is the leading force. They are. It's a reality.
I concur.
So let me apologize for my English.
Oh, stop it.
Come to Bilbao, visit me, contact me. Jack has my contact. Harald has my contact. Please give me just some weeks to make a detox because I come from summer. I have warnings on my medical issues. Even my name and my ID number is a warning. It's a red. It's in red. Even my address is in red with some like the acid, like the uric acid. Oh my God! Thank you very much.
You're something. Well, on behalf of the Hangar Z and John Gray and I, we thank you, Joseba, for agreeing to join us. It's been great. Harald, thank you for agreeing to co-host. This has been great. I'll just end with this, that I think the first time I met Joseba was Glenn Daly arranged for me to meet you in LA, I think. And you came to visit our heliport. And Glenn just spoke so highly of you. And we only had a brief visit for whatever reason. And then I came to my first PavCon, and Glenn said, "All right, now you got to meet Joseba, and you got to wait. The last presentation's his." And I will never forget it. My stomach hurt from laughing. It was hilarious. And I understood why they keep having you back at the end, because you just wrap it up in such a good way with a message, I will add, a great message, but in
Thank
a
you very
very
much.
humorous, fun, genuine, experienced way. And many times I think we all need that. You know, we all need to hear certain things, some realities. And if you use humor, it drives the point home better, I think. And it did for me, because I saw through the laughter and saw that Joseba was talking about real issues, real problems, real things. And he was just presenting it in a way that made the crowd enjoy it. But we all walked away learning about something that we didn't maybe think about before. And the value of that skill that you have, Joseba, is evident in the past 2 hours. It came through loud and clear. Oh,
Thank you very much. Don't deserve it, Jack. Don't deserve it.
And I'll just end with this. I agree with you, Joseba, that Harold's the man in the EU and beyond. And the Netherlands is a great model for the rest of the EU to follow. And it didn't come overnight. It has evolved over the years that I've been involved with them. It has evolved. A lot of it due to the man that's sitting here between us on video, Harald. I mean, he's done a lot of great things. So you're very fortunate to have someone that close, and not only that you could call a friend, but a colleague and someone that's not that far away for information and to yes, I know you're blushing, Harald. But a great person to have there. So I wish you the best of luck. You've been great to have on here. We've learned a lot. And on behalf of the Hangar Z, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
For all our listeners and watchers, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Vertical Helicast is a great thing. And if you check it out, you can check out the other podcasts, Real Rescue, MRO, the Helicopter podcast. Lots of good information out there for the helicopter community. But the Hangar Z sure is lucky to have friends like Harald and Joseba to come on here and share information. So with that, I wish you the best. And thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you very much.
Cheers, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Hangar Z podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to hear more stories that promote the personnel and equipment behind the missions in public safety aviation. Lastly, stand by for a message after a word from our sponsors. Cheers.
Thank you to our sponsor, Precision Aviation Group. Mission-critical operators and fleet managers rely on Precision Aviation Group as a worldwide leading rotor and fixed-wing MRO provider. PAG provides tip-to-tail solutions in 4 MRO segments: avionics, components, engines, and manufacturing DER services. A single point of contact gives you access to over 150 million in inventory globally, 24/7. Just call 800-537-2778. Precision Aviation Group. Others sell parts. We sell support. Thank you to our sponsor, CNC Technologies. CNC Technologies, serving law enforcement, government, and military markets with tailored mission solutions, system training, and live 24/7 support with CNC.live platform. Explore more at cnctechnologies.com.
Thank you to our sponsor, Metro Aviation. Metro Aviation, the world's largest family-owned aeromedical operator, offers comprehensive aircraft services with 140-plus aircraft in over 25 states. The Completion Center installs medical and law enforcement kits and avionics, serving diverse aviation needs including offshore, utility, VIP, and corporate sectors. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Hangar Z podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicast and in partnership with Vertical Valor magazine. In this 2-part series, we've had the pleasure of connecting with Pilot Lieutenant Joseba Mendizabal from the Basque Police in Spain. We hope you enjoyed hearing Joseba's engaging stories and his reflections on the transformation of Bilbao and modern policing. This conversation not only highlights the importance of resilience and teamwork, but also underscored the critical role helicopter pilots play in law enforcement and the value of events like PavCon for industry networking and training. Our goal with these international conversations is to foster connections with our international brothers and sisters in public safety aviation. By sharing our collective experiences and best practices, we can strengthen our efforts in serving our community safely and effectively.
time to close up the hangar. Thanks for joining us on the Hangar Z podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicasts.